It's Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. I hope you are doing well. We are here for our member spotlight, which we try to do every single Wednesday around this time. We might be taking off a couple of weeks for the summer, however, but today we're really excited to be welcoming one of our longtime members who's also just an awesome human, and it's Julie. And I see you here, Julie. Spotlight with us a long time ago, but we had some sound issues that were very mysterious and strange. So we're hoping that that's been resolved and we can chat again today. Hey,
Hi.
Julie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So glad to see you. I
Thank
saw
you.
you, I feel like briefly at H&H in Chicago, but it was a bit of like a crazy whirlwind. So I hope you had a good time.
I did. I was really happy to go. I missed last year, but I couldn't miss 2 years in a row. I'm very happy I went.
Good, so glad. So, well, welcome. And Julie, maybe you can start by just telling folks a little bit about your business as it is now, like what kinds of services and things that you provide.
Right. So I started as a crochet pattern designer and teacher. I really love to teach people how to crochet and bring them into my world a little bit. But in the past few years, what's been really working for me and what I love to do the most is offer services to other designers and other crocheters and knitters. So translation services, I translate patterns to and from French, and also tech editing for crochet and knitting. So that's been super fun to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you live in Canada,
I do. I live in French Canada.
in French Canada. So did you grow up bilingual?
No, actually, what happened is that when I was in third grade, we went to live in Saudi Arabia for my father's job. And over there, we had a choice between French school from France or American school. And American school was the closest to our curriculum. So I learned English by going to an American school for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So
Yeah,
you were a native French speaker then, and then learned English in Saudi Arabia.
exactly.
Oh, that's such an interesting story. Okay, and then you came back. So
Yep.
that's why you're like sort of fully bilingual and able to provide translation services. And what are some of the benefits that designers might not be considering when it comes to translation? Because, if you're writing a pattern in your native language, thinking, well, my market's fine, everything's good. Do I need to pay for this? Do I need to invest in this? And so tell us a little bit about some of the experiences you've had with designers who have taken that step and what's happened with their business.
Right. So I have to confess that when I started designing, I was just writing my patterns in English because I figured, and like this is coming from a French speaker, but I just figured that most people are bilingual, most people speak English, and it would be fine. It would just be the least amount of work for the most amount of results. The thing is that that's just not true. Most people don't speak English. And even the people that do, as a second language, they're not necessarily comfortable enough to do something technical by following English instructions. So by offering my patterns in French, I'm much more respectful of where I come from. That's super important to me. When I realized that there was a real need, I actually even founded a collective of other French speakers that have crochet businesses. When I realized that that was a need, it made sense and I never looked back. So I offer my patterns in French and English. A lot of the time what I'm asked is, well, am I going to make money doing this? Like, is it going to be worth it? You will make money. You won't double your revenue. You won't go like adding French won't make you go like, you won't become a millionaire tomorrow. But the thing is, those people that you're adding to your audience, they love you for doing it, whether it's French, English, Spanish, Italian, whatever language you can add. People that speak that language will be loyal to people that offer patterns in that language. And a lot of designers are worried that they won't be able to answer
That's what I
questions.
was going to say. Customer support.
Well, here's the thing, questions aren't technical.
Right.
So when someone sends you a question, even if they write it in their native tongue, if you Google Translate it and you write up an answer and Google Translate that, you'll be fine. For the rare, like it's never happened to me, but if there were an instance where the designer and the person absolutely can't understand each other that way, I would be more than happy to help out there, because it's never happened, first of all. But if it did, my goal is to have the most people, um, you know, investing in your business, buying your patterns. So of course I would help out if that were to happen. But as I said, like those questions are just generally regular talk. It's not technical, so
Yeah.
it's usually easy.
Yeah, absolutely. As a person who sells patterns, I can affirm that that's generally the kind of question that people ask.
And I
And
mean, the answer
you can
is,
show them a photo too sometimes, and that
yeah.
helps. Like just snap a quick picture of that step with your phone, and
And
yeah.
that's a little bit beside the point, but generally speaking, the answer is, did you make your gauge swatch? And the answer is usually no. Like that's what people have issues with, generally
Right.
speaking.
Yeah, it's usually the same sorts of things. And then talk a little bit about technical editing, because that's an area too that sometimes people skip that step,
Yeah.
thinking, well, I checked it over pretty carefully and
Mhm.
I've, made a couple of samples and all is well. But paying for technical editing is a worthwhile investment. And for somebody who wants to really do this professionally, it's a step that you should take. So explain a little bit about that process.
Right. So a lot of people think, well, I've had testers, so I don't need technical editors, which they're not the same. Testers, you're not paying them. So you can't expect them to do the same kind of job, but regardless, their job, if they see a spelling mistake or a calculation error, thank them for spotting it, but that's not their job. Their job is to follow your pattern, to make the item and confirm that your instructions work, and ideally share it on social media. A tech editor goes through your pattern, row by row, step by step. They check all of the spelling, all of the consistency between abbreviations. They check, did I say calculations? They go with your swatch too and make sure that all of the final measurements and the swatch work and that all of the instructions are clear. As I said, I do tech editing and I also design. I can't tech edit my own patterns because you won't see your mistakes.
Right.
Like I can reread a pattern 17 times and I will still not see that glaring, super obvious, huge mistake, like forgetting to switch one sentence from French to English. I do that in my own patterns because I can't see it. So I have to have my patterns gone over by someone else. But then when I'm working on someone else's pattern, I see everything because it's not mine.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
it's super important. And it's two things, like both are important. Having testers and a tech editor, both are super important. And I think a lot of the time people think, I'm not sure if I'm going to make that money back. And the thing is, when your patterns are out in the world, they never stop making money for you. So some patterns maybe will pay for the tech editing over a longer period of time, but in the end, they're available forever. That PDF is out there forever. So, it would be, to me, it would almost be impossible for a pattern that's been tech edited and well marketed not to make that money back.
And here's the other thing that I have found too, is when you have invested to make that pattern as polished as you possibly can, you feel more confident in the product.
Yep.
And so you are more confident in marketing it. So you want to share the news, to ask other people to help share the news, to post it everywhere, continue to market it over time, because you feel like you are very confident and proud of the product. When you haven't done those steps and you put it out there, you're sort of afraid, like,
Mhm.
well, someone's going to do it. Maybe they'll find a mistake. Maybe they'll get mad at me. Maybe they'll post on social media that they didn't like it, or look what happened and that sort of thing. And so you don't want to market it as strongly because you're like, oh, well, I'm not so sure about this one. So it has an impact too, just on your psychology of comfort level with putting it forward.
Absolutely. And that's like, it's also true of having good photography for your,
Yes.
I'm very guilty of not doing that. I don't have access to easy access to photographers, but I know that my patterns that have good photos sell a lot easier and a lot more.
Absolutely. It's so true. If
All of that
ever,
combined.
and it's not too late. Like if you have a
True.
pattern that you know has potential and maybe it's not selling that well but you love it. And so you can take it and revamp it. You can get new photos taken. You can make a new sample. You can have it tech edited. You can have it translated
Yep.
and then do a re-release party and put it back out there with all the fresh information. If you can send the updated file to your previous customers or offer them
Yeah.
a way to get it for free or whatever by emailing you, showing you a receipt or whatever it is. But you can still do this. So like if you're thinking, oh God, I didn't
Absolutely.
take any of those steps and now I'm in hot water.
Oh
You're
no,
not. You can go back.
it's never too late. It's never too late. And just like that's something that I do when I translate patterns for designers from English to French, a lot of the time, like when I mention that the pattern is out, a whole bunch of new people realize that this pattern exists because not everyone knows what's going on. So when you re-release a pattern, you're getting all new clients for it too.
Absolutely. Exactly. Totally. And as you said, most people aren't watching as closely as you're watching your own things. And so they may not even know it existed in the first place. So re-release party is a
Absolutely.
good idea. Yeah. Well, Julia, this was great. It was great chatting with you. And maybe share where people can come if they are in need of tech editing services and would like to work with you, if they're interested in exploring the idea of getting some translations done, or just want to see your designs.
So my website is www.accroceht.com, ACCROCHET.com. But if they message me on Instagram, I'll be happy to start a conversation there or here actually, and just go from there and see what can be done. Just if people want to just chat, like write to me. I love it. So
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being a Craft Industry Alliance member.
oh,
Thank you for doing
thank
that with
you.
us and coming back for round 2.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thanks everybody who came. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.